Florida State and the state of Florida, the gift that keeps on giving. I'm Steve Murray, and this is the worst program on the internet, sports. You know, the Seminoles do have my sympathy. It's not easy being told to know your role when you're the victim of a conspiracy designed to reward select conferences and appease our television masters. The world just doesn't allow for 365 days of sunshine and rainbows. And of course, as Nuke LaLoosh once famously said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes the College Football Playoff Committee is just out to get you. Now, of course, more than one thing can be true at any time. A team can do everything necessary to qualify for the playoff, but yet still not be good enough to earn a spot. Winning the most games is great and does make you the best team in your conference, but it may not make you the best team in the nation. And of course, some people say cucumbers taste better pickled. Now, I have been doing some research lately, and I found something that may help. At least I hope that does help, right? Now, apparently, the phrase, both things can be true, and I've got it actually written down right over here, is a reality-shifting mindset that can relieve anxiety, promote healing, and encourage relationship growth. Who knew? Who knew that getting screwed over could be so emotionally healthy for you? Well, apparently not Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody. Now, recently, Moody, concerned with athletics and economic fairness, and of course not political theater, launched a civil investigation into the college football playoffs. As it stands, Ms. Moody says, the committee's decision reeks of partiality, and we are demanding answers, not only for Florida State, but for all schools, teams, and fans of college football. Right on, sister. Fight's a good fight. She goes on, in Florida, merit matters. Good to know. If it's attention they're looking for, then the committee certainly has our attention now. I always got to chuckle a little bit when elected officials, celebrities, those type of people look to others and say, you're just here for the attention. Because obviously, Miss Moody is a public servant. She goes on to say something that I think is probably 70 to 80% correct, though. She says no rational person or college football fan can look at this situation and not question the results. Again, not 100%, but a large number. And you know what? She does have a point. A berth in the college football playoff is worth millions. Florida State is undefeated. They did win their conference championship, and they did everything that was asked of them. But in the minds of the playoff committee, well, at least publicly anyway, the loss of starting quarterback Jordan Travis was just too large of a hurdle to overcome. Hypocrisy? You're damn right. In 2014, Ohio State was allowed entry into the playoff after starter J.T. Barrett was injured against Michigan. It was third-string quarterback Cordell Jones who helped lead the Buckeyes to a national title. This year, it was Florida State third-string quarterback Brock Glenn who led the Seminoles to an ACC championship victory over Louisville. One team got in, one team got denied. Now, you know, it's hard to say what, if anything, will come from this investigation. The antitrust investigative demand, kind of hard to say. That's the 10-page document that Ms. Moody had sent to the College Football Playoff Committee. Requires the committee to submit under oath all communications and information, but dealing with some primary areas, mostly like adherence to their own protocols. Any communications about or with the Power 5 conferences, the New Year's Day bowl games, and the College Football Playoff Championship game. You also want any information regarding player compensation. And then amongst the coaches on the committee, who did the coaches want in and who did the coaches not want in? Of course, we're looking for vote tallies and other several categories involving really monetary items. guarantees of participation, payouts, bowl revenue, all this sort of thing. Now, look, I'm not in favor of any politician to get involved with athletics. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's just theater. But since I do roots for good online content, I am interested to see what happens. Really for two primary reasons, or two areas of concern, I would say. One, of course, is the voting record. I think voting matters, right? That's what they tell us every 4 years. And it would be interesting to see how the vote went amongst the various committee members from round 1, 2, or 3, or however long it takes. And then, of course, any communication between those rounds of voting. So, for instance, if committee member number 1 votes Florida State in round 1 and they change their mind to Alabama in round 2, I think it would behoove all of us to know what changed that person's mind. What was the actual conversation rather than, well, we just talked about it and kind of went to the tape. Now, of course, all this will probably be moot next year when the playoff increases to 12 teams. And again, Florida's upset, and they deserve to be. But here's the thing. Among the 4 teams that did get into the playoff, that being Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama, which of these 4 teams would you rather play than Florida State? None of them. And Vegas agrees. BetESPN had Michigan as a 12.5-point favorite in a hypothetical matchup against Florida State. Against Bama, Michigan's a 1.5-point favorite, or at least it was. Apparently 70% of the money is going towards Bama, so that likely might have changed. Now, does this mean that the favorite always wins? No, of course not, right? Last year, TCU beat Michigan 51-45. Could Florida State make it 2 upsets in a row? Maybe. But we'll never know. And that does kind of suck. You know, the one thing that I have always hated about the national championship is that it's never really been based on merit or what a team has done. It's really been based upon what someone else thinks of their ability to achieve something. You can be great, you can be the best, but if I don't think you're good, you're not going to get in. That's kind of how the way it works. The system's never been fair, and it may never be fair, but I gotta say, I do think this year they got it right. And next year we'll know for sure. I do want to thank you once again for joining me here on the program. Do me a favor, go ahead, if you can, hit that like button, subscribe, post a comment, or go ahead and email me. Let me know what you think about this topic or other things we can talk about. And of course, just as always, if you're looking for more poorly produced online content, don't forget about our other program, Worst Program on the Internet, The Blues, which you just finished up our 4th episode quite recently. So once again, I'm Steve Murray. I do appreciate you stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you next time. You take care, all right?